Mr. Mehra, the Managing Director of the Publishing House, Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court, past and present, the Honorable Chief Minister of my home state, my old friend, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad, Gautam Adani and his family, the solicitor, my dear friend's son, Dipinder Singh Hooda, a Member of Parliament, my family members, ladies and gentlemen present. A very good evening and thank you for coming. After being wedded to duties and responsibilities as a constitutional functionary for nearly 2 decades, the idea of retiring was enchanting and at the same time appalling. All kinds of thoughts, positive and negative, would often crowd my mind. In the midst of such thoughts, the idea of compiling memories from my life's journey grew and with time grew stronger. The idea also gave new meaning to the term retirement. As I moved on from an active life to an active retired life, I've been working on this book for about 1.5 years now. And I've spent possibly 2 to 3 hours of every day. The journey of life, as I understand, takes us from the stage of innocence to our state of consciousness, which remains our constant companion all along. This journey also witnesses how our ideas about the world, shaped under the protective care of our elders, give way to our own worldview that determines our choices and actions as we eventually take on the mandate of being elders, shaping and influencing the young and the impressionable. Along our life's journey, it is worthwhile to pause, look back and introspect, for it is introspection more than anything else that constantly helps us calibrate and enrich our world view. People with a deep sense of introspection are admirable, as they tend to persistently invest and reinvest their thoughts towards positive outcomes. The formation of memory, as all of you would have experienced, is a complex process. Reflected prominently in the behavior of the living, memory is ingrained both into the empirical levels of life as well as into its most complex maneuvers. It is memory that plays a predominant role in our growth story, providing building blocks for our thoughts and action, and acting as a determinant of choices we make in life. What I present today reflects my memory, reproduced as it stands, and manifest through our recollection of thoughts that have been arranged in a narrative of contextual and contemporaneous events. From my years of childhood, growing up in Dibrugarh, a district town in Upper Assam, to my journey as a student and practitioner of law that culminated in the highest constitutional court of India. This compilation from my memory would bring forth several crucial aspects of functioning of institutions that I was privileged to be a part of, particularly during the later part of my life. I have tried to keep the narrative mostly factual, without there being much space for justifications, because as someone who held one of the highest public offices in the country, I was also required to take decisions which may not have conformed to any norm, but were necessary in institutional interest that overrode all other considerations. In doing so, I also discovered that conversations around high public offices are mostly speculative, fueled by perceptions floating in public discourse. I would dare say that unless one were to take on the weight of a high public office, it would remain difficult, if not impossible, to understand the national or institutional interests that such high offices safeguard. It is thus imperative to understand that decisions ascribed to a high public office may also be a reflection of institutional choices and not necessarily the choice of the incumbent holding the office. I must add here that whatever you discover in this work certainly is a personal account of state of things, and I'm sure it would not be seen in a different light. Interwoven through the narrative is also the fact that I belong to the first generation of Indians who were born in an independent land, freed from the clutches of alien rule and oppression. My generation inherited the cherished dreams and the vision of an independent nation, for which our forefathers sacrificed all that they could. And I can say with great conviction that we grew up with a profound and overriding sense of duty towards dedicating our lives to the process of nation building, and that has remained the bedrock of my life's journey. It would be apt to share with all of you that I carry great satisfaction of having served the Constitution, adding my bit to the illustrious journey of an old civilization. I am sure the readers will discover events which revolved around profound and deep-rooted issues that required skills and efforts beyond the ordinary to bring to closure some issues and a beginning for others. How and in what ways would this collection of facts be relevant in life's journey is something that only time will tell. But I do sincerely hope that this piece should be one of easy reading that would inspire positivity and hope in the hearts of all right-thinking persons who aspire to associate with larger national interest and institution building more than anything else in their lives. I would be happy if this collection of my memories trigger conversations among such people, as I firmly believe that it is only their thoughts and actions which inspire those who walk after them. I would like to acknowledge the efforts of the publishers in making this work possible, and I would like to thank them and their editorial team. In particular, I would like to thank Madam Yamini Chaudhary, who has traveled with me in this long journey of 13 months Through her, I would like to thank the copy editor of the publishing house, through whom I have learned to correct a lot of my English. I thank Mr. Mehra for being so tolerant about my intolerance. Not the least, I thank you all, and Madam Pratibha, the judge of the Delhi High Court, and her husband, Maninder Singh, an eminent lawyer, for taking time out and being with us here to make this event a memorable one. Thank you, and Jai Hind.